New Year, and welcome to the first episode of the Codex podcast of 2024. My name is Tim the Terrible. This beautiful man next to me is J Dubs. How is it going tonight, sir?
It's going. It is fantastic to be into the new year, starting off with the first episode fresh. Unfortunately, Sonny is unable to join us. He has a cold. The new year COVID, I guess.
Yeah,
New year, same COVID.
there you go.
But yeah, I'm excited to get into this. Excited to talk about all the new things going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, guys, we have got a ton of stuff to cover for you tonight. We're obviously in the pre-show right now. Sonny does this way better than I do, so I'll try and thumb through it. But we've got the rundown. We got a ton of news items for you. Jonathan Majors being fired from Marvel. Scott Snyder and Francesco Francavilla returning for a new horror story. X-Men 97 Prelude miniseries. The 10 best-selling comics of 2023. And on top of all of that, the ongoing fiasco of the CGC reholder scandal. We now have a comic list, and we're going to go over that briefly today because we've got a follow-up episode for Codex Slabbed coming out next week that will go into it in detail with comic book influencer on Instagram 9.9 newsstand. So stick around for that, ladies and gentlemen. In addition to that, we've got Our Works. Jamie and I are going to go into a ton of stuff that we did over the past year and what we've got coming for you in the new year. And then after that, we have an awesome review that Jamie picked out. And what would that be, Jamie?
Nightwing 105, the very first person Nightwing. You are a Nightwing comic.
That's right. Absolutely. And I'm excited to talk about that. So that's what we've got on the lineup for you today.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to review it. Also, one part of the news that we forgot to talk about was Steven Yeun exits Thunderbolts.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Sal and Jamie's mom, hi, happy new year. Good to see you guys in the chat tonight. All right. So, Jamie, your Christmas was good?
Christmas was great.
Awesome.
Lack of sleep because, toddlers. But other than that, it was fantastic.
And how was your New Year's?
Just as good. We had a baby ball drop at 7 p.m. Full balloons and fun and confetti and noise whistles and him driving around his little buggy like Professor Xavier. So that
is amazing.
Yeah, that he just goes in a circle with, like Deadpool from Deadpool 2.
Oh my God.
He's like, how does this thing even work? And he's just deep.
Oh, jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the Codex Awards has been postponed until January 13th. That is 10 days away. We've got 9 categories for you this year. Best writer of the year, best artist, biggest surprise, best event.
Series.
Yeah.
Best series read, which it talks about anything that you've picked up the past year.
Yeah.
The Legacy Award, a new category, which is cover of the year.
Yeah.
So it is going to be even better.
Your mom says New Year's would have been better if she was there.
No. But thank you for trying. I appreciate it. It would have been better. It'd probably be better if we went down there. But my house is always a wreck now that there's a little being in it.
Except for the studio, right?
Yeah, for some reason he comes in here and just wants to spin on the chair. And then that's good enough. Outside of this, it looks like, Hurricane Katrina. So
it's all about perspective. It's what you see.
As long as you just see this, you're good. The rest of the stuff that's on the floor right now, don't even know about.
If you go beyond what the camera shows you, like to the rest of the dining area, I've got boxes and comic books and more boxes of comic books stacked end to end. It's ridiculous.
Sorry, Sal, there's a scandal going on. I'm not allowed to do those things. You guys said so.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get started here in a couple of minutes with the main show. So get comfy, stick around, and get ready for a super awesome time. We've also got a new sponsor for the month of January. That is Nirvana Comics in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're going to go more into them later in the episode. So pay attention to that. And plus, we have a giveaway.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I talked a little bit about it on Comics of the Week last week, and we'll see who else is going to jump in for it. Be posting it also on our socials, so that way you guys don't miss out on this awesome giveaway.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to Nirvana Comics in Knoxville, Tennessee for providing Duke #1 for this giveaway. Stick around for the podcast proper so we can give you more information on how to win.
Yes.
All right.
But no, it was a fun end of the year. A little disappointed we didn't get to the Codex Awards, but it worked out better because we'd have more people there.
Yeah.
For this one. But I've had my stuff ready since like November.
Yeah, me too.
Except for Uncle Gary throwing us a curve and being like, put cover of the year. And I was like, no. And then I was like, okay.
I had that picked, I think, within 10 minutes of you saying, like, okay, we're adding this topic. Right, here it is.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work for me because I get B variants for DC and all of them are awesome.
But you can only pick one.
I know. So my selection this year is DC.
Right on. Okay.
What's your cover of the year? DC.
There you go. Yeah, done. All done. All right, Jamie, you ready to dive into our first podcast episode of the new year?
Yeah, there's just no Groovy bass tones allowed in 2024. I
Not
got
a-
the memo on the news. It was something big. It was a scandal. It was great.
Have you talked to Sal about this? Because I think he is the de facto deciding vote in whether we
No,
play
actually,
bass
Sal
or-
got fired in the past 10 seconds, so he doesn't have a decision,
Is that so?
unfortunately. And
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Codex Podcast. My name is Tim the Terrible. This guy over here hitting buttons in the middle of the countdown is J-Dubs. Welcome.
I'm blurry.
welcome to the first episode of the podcast for 2024. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. We got a ton of stuff to go over for you. We got plenty of news for the rundown. We have our works, and we've got an awesome review for you today, and that would be Nightwing #105. It is the first-person perspective, and we can't wait to get into it with you. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get some quick business out of the way. And let me tell you, if you like what you see today, if you are happy with the content we provide, please find us on all the socials. All you got to do is type in at the Codex Station, and that is where we will be. Your favorite social media platforms and where we're live streaming right now. The greatest thing you can do for us is hit that like button. It definitely helps small channels like ours grow and prosper, and we would love to have your support. Once again, at the Codex Station on all social media platforms. And also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to head over to the codexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Once again, the codexstation.com. Jamie, we've got two sponsors today, but let's go ahead and go over our first sponsor, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and that would be Dubby Energy. Guys, go check out Dubby Energy at dubby.gg. It's the cleanest, purest form of energy on the market today. No jitters, no crash, no bad aftertaste like Monsters, Red Bulls, and all that other stuff. We all here use it. We love it. Gets us through the day and our shows. So we have the energy for you to put on this great content.
There you go, ladies and
And
gentlemen.
don't forget, if you use the keyword code -X at checkout, you're going to save yourself 10% on your order. So get there, go order, and more.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. W.GG. All right, Jamie, are you ready to get into some news?
Oh, of course.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with the rundown. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we've got a lot of news for you today. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of everything we have, and then Jamie, you go ahead and pick the first topic that we dive into tonight. So we have Jonathan Majors, Kang the Conqueror in the MCU, fired from the MCU. We have Scott Snyder and Francesco Francavilla reteaming for a new horror story, X-Men 97 Prelude miniseries, the 10 best-selling comics of 2023, and the CGC reholder scandal. There is a full list of comic books affected. Jamie, what do you want to talk about first?
Oh, I'm jumping right into this. We're going to go with Jonathan Majors being fired. I mean, of the list of things, like, in my mind, you fired him for allegations. He was charged on 2 things.
Yeah.
Which weren't the major 2 points out of the 4 that were the issue. And Marvel just dumped him. Where I just don't get it, because DC has Ezra Miller still running around stealing people. So, like, I guess to me, Marvel doesn't want that stigma behind them that they're keeping someone like that.
Right.
DC's got people pooping on beds and stealing children. Well, Marvel's just like, let's go. You're done.
Well, Marvel is kind of notorious for jumping the gun on things. At least with this, they waited until a conviction.
Yeah, they waited till there was an announcement for it. They gave him a chance. They still released Loki season 2 with him in there, which I honestly thought he did a fantastic job as
I thought he did great.
And even Ant-Man Wasp Quantumania, I thought he did a good job, especially the line of, which Avenger are you? I've killed so many in your different timelines, it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not, I'm not gonna say it sucks, because as an actor, yes.
Yeah.
As for what happened, no. Like that.
Right.
That was right. The right thing to do, 100%. But now, because I've listened to a lot of people talk about this. I listened to so many different other podcasters and news outlets talk about what can they do next. And no one's talking about the one thing that they can do. Everyone's saying, oh, you should replace them like that. No, bring Dr. Doom in. No, make it this. Make it that. Make it one solidified person as Kang. I think that's all stupid.
Okay. What do you
100%.
think they should do?
They're sitting on this awesome gold mine and I'll say what I'm about to say and then I'll explain.
Okay.
You're working with a world of variance now. Why can't you, each movie or each TV show, have a different person represent Kang until you get to the Kang Dynasty and reveal who the true variant of it is?
Hey, that's a great idea.
Now hear me out, though. Each one represents a different person, different timeline, and you could bring people on for one movie, one series, and you don't have to lock anybody in for that long-term deal that's going to lead to like 2027.
Right.
Because a lot of people, they bow out of, doing these movies because, oh, I'm locked in for 7 years and I can't do other movies and, this and that, and I got to work around Marvel schedule. Now you just have one person per each until you figure out where you're going to get to at the Kang Dynasty. Yeah. And then you bring in Kang for the last 2-3 years.
Using one of the actors that you have?
No, just using someone completely different from the original ones that you had before. This is the true Kang, the one above all.
Right.
Like, this is him.
The main timeline Kang.
Yes, the main timeline Kang. You could say all these past ones, they had nothing on him. They had nothing to do. There is weak, links in the chain. And he's the true one at the end. But think about, like, the casting you could do for, let's say, like, the next 4 years doing 6 different either shows or movies.
Right on. Okay.
If
Okay.
you have 8 movies and 2 shows come out, just to say,
Yeah.
it's 8 different actors, 2 different, you know, for the TV series and then 6 for the movies. You can literally play with people's minds. Like, you can sit there and be like, "I wonder who the next king's gonna be." You know,
I
who
dig that. I think that's really cool. I think that's a great idea.
I know, Marvel just hit me up, "I'll help you out, don't worry, we can write this together."
Uh,
Um,
Marvel, right here. Let me help you so you can find Jamie right quick and in a hurry
yeah, there you go.
at the Codex Station.
Just hit us up. But it'd be a good idea to do, and then even like you said, if you wanted to, you could keep one of those people from the shows and make it a mystery
Yeah.
on who's the weak, like who is the real king and who else was the weaker ones. Or you just throw the curveball and be like, it was none of them.
It's somebody else.
Yeah, and never show him in the trailer.
So, like they did with John Krasinski, bringing him in as Mr. Fantastic, a lot of people have been screaming for Denzel Washington to replace Jonathan Majors. You could have him do a movie or a TV show as one of the variants, and then
Yeah,
other actors that have been listed as well, like the
yeah.
guy that was in
Fear of the Walking.
300.
Yeah, there's 300, and they wanted the main protagonist from Fear of the Walking Dead,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yes. So
then
many great choices.
John Boyle, who played Finn in Star Wars.
I think he said no, though,
He
didn't
did,
he?
but
Yeah.
like once Marvel opens that checkbook, you don't say no.
Yeah, you can't say no to $250 million for
Yeah,
20
and
minutes on screen.
10% royalties on
Yeah.
everything.
I changed my mind, guys.
You know,
I've
this
had
is
a
the
change of
greatest
heart.
script I've ever read. I take everything I said back. Um, but yeah,
Oh.
I mean, just think about it. You can grab all these different actors and just be
Mhm.
like, "Yo, you can do one, but who wants to actually be in for the next 3 years?" Right?
Right, and
You
that
know,
would give Marvel a great opportunity to not only gauge, talent interest, but, fan interest on who they would like to see as well.
you could even go as far as having a vote of who you want to be king. Like there's so many opportunities to do with just doing
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Like you could say you have a multiverse of opportunities
Wow.
in there.
Trademark
Um,
that real quick before Marvel does, otherwise you're gonna lose out on millions.
I know I'm screwed either way. My predictions are usually right. As we've shown in the past 2 years, I'm going on 3 that we've done this whole
Yeah.
show, and I think I'm at like 90% for right on what they do. But this one, I think they're going to drop the ball and not do that, and I
Wow.
think they're just going to stick with one person and it's just going to ruin it for them. But I really hope they go that route because it'd be so cool to be like, okay, well, this guy playing Kang, I don't like him. He's not the true Kang. Or this guy right here, he's definitely Kang. And then when we get to it, it's like no one you thought.
I am behind that
It makes people
110%.
want to watch it. To me, it makes people want to watch that because it's a mystery within
Yeah.
the series. Like you got to actually pay attention to everything, or else
Yeah.
you might not know who he actually is.
And that really plays into the whole variance aspect that Marvel's kind of pushing right now too, so,
Yeah, and you think
yeah.
like Deadpool 3's coming out, and they're literally showing pictures of them just killing variants
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
other like that's your way in. Like they don't have to look the same. They don't have to be like
Yeah.
what King was, where Jonathan Majors was playing the same person, just dressed differently.
Yeah.
Where they're trying, what they're doing with Mr. Fantastic, they had John Krasinski, which was great, but now they're going in a different direction with a different person.
Yeah.
You could do the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Absolutely. All right. Also, we have Scott Snyder and Francesco Francavilla returning for a new horror story. Let's go ahead and dive into that real quick.
Yes, I am excited for that. Night of Ghouls was one of my top picks. I had us
Oh,
review it.
dude.
And
We did that for the podcast, and that
yes,
was amazing. I
yes, that
really
was a
dug that.
trip. And
Yeah.
that was the one that I found that I told everyone about, you need to
Yep.
pick this up, and the whole team basically went out and bought it.
Yeah. So this new horror story that they're writing is called White Boat, and
Mhm.
it's for the new publisher Distillery, and
Which
they're
I
a lot.
love, by the way.
Yeah, they are amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out, go ahead and do that. They put out a sampler book last year
Mhm.
that was fantastic. Pick it up if you can. Otherwise, they do have some titles out right now. I
Yeah,
think one or
Gone
two.
was one, and I
Yeah.
forgot It escapes me right now. We have it, but I can't remember.
Yeah, but White Boat launches on Distillery in spring of this year. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. This was written by Boris Kitt, and I'm going to read a little bit of this to you guys. So, fan favorite comics author Scott Snyder is jumping back into the horror field, this time with a 3-issue miniseries for upstart publisher Distillery. Titled White Boat, the comic will reteam the writer who became a superstar thanks to his work on Batman and other titles in DC in the 2010s, along with artist Francavilla. Now, the two collaborated on a horror miniseries titled Night of the Ghoul, which is now set up for adaptation at 20th Century Studios with 21 Laps producing. That is great news. I know what I'm looking forward to now. But going forward, it says, according to the publisher, the boats and White Boats are the mega yachts that the super rich use to traverse the globe. They are floating islands where your every desire can be fulfilled. Getting invited on board should be a dream come true. That is, until the crew traps and transports its guests to a remote island where secret cults have existed for millennia, working on something called the Human Project. Jamie, that's exciting.
Yes, that actually, it to me. First off, where my mind goes to is how much did Distillery shell out for Snyder?
Yeah.
That to me, like, first off, having Jock on Gone
Yeah.
was like, you got who, what? Now it's like, all right, Distillery, how much? Like, who's got the trust fund? Like, that we're just able to hand out this money to these creators, because obviously you're really trying to make it big. You
Well,
know,
I mean, Snyder had Barnstormers on Comixology first. He had
yes,
Clear, Night of the
We Are
Ghouls.
Demons,
Yeah, We Are Demons. Dude,
or yeah,
he's been hit after hit after hit, and then Dark Horse putting out the physical copies and things like that. And I'm excited for this.
I mean, everything Snyder's done to
Yeah.
me, at least for some reason, when it comes to his independent work, has gone under radar.
Yeah.
Like, and it's kind of sad because he does a lot of great work. Like, I was just talking to the guys on Comics of the Week about Undiscovered Country. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that book's on issue 29, and like, I hear there's crickets every time I bring it up. It's a fantastic book. Like, it literally plays into what happened when the world shut down.
Do you
Like,
think that it's because he's not writing top tier like Batman and stuff that people
I
kind of
mean,
disregard?
it could be, in a sense. Like, I don't want to get, first off, Francavilla's art is amazing. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to give him as much kudos as I possibly can,
Yeah.
along with Snyder, because his artwork is just fantastic. But when it comes to Snyder, it's like, okay, you got your start on Detective,
Mm-hmm.
and then you moved on to Batman, which blew up, and then
He did I Vampire during the New 52,
he
right?
also did, no, he did Swamp Thing during the 52.
That's right.
Um, and then after that, he did Justice League
Mm-hmm.
for the whole Rebirth title for most of it. Then Bendis took over and it just fell apart. But we're not talking about that. But Snyder, like, once he decided to go off the mainstream, it seemed
Mm-hmm.
like people just didn't care. And it's like, it's still the best work he's done. What are you doing?
Clear was one of the best series that I had read for the year.
Yes.
Like new stuff. And I passed on that when it was on the stands, not because it was independent Scott Snyder, but because I had so many titles on my list and there were
Right.
none I wanted to drop and I couldn't afford to put a new one up there. And I'm glad I got to check it out when you guys chose it last year for the podcast.
Yeah.
I believe Sonny and I both gave it a 10 out of 10. It was that good.
Yes. Like I said, that's why I picked that one for the review.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there for it. But that, to me, that one was,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, that is just goes to show, like, there's more out there than the big two.
Yeah, yeah. And Barnstormers, everybody on After Dark was reading that. Me, Gary, and Dan, I think, are going to be getting a review done of that here in the near future. So look out for that. Well, we were talking about that every Saturday, how
Yeah.
good that book was. So White Boat, this just, and the premise of it, these floating
And
ski
you know they're
yacht.
gonna the synopsis is gonna flip from the moment you start reading it.
Oh yeah. Oh
It'll
yeah.
tell you one thing. It'll be the opening line monologue for the very first page, and then
Yeah.
after that, you don't know what the hell is going on.
3 issues though. Do you think they're going to be standard size or oversized?
Oh, they'll be oversized, but then they'll be standard when they come, or they'll probably be oversized. It's distillery, so it's probably
Yeah.
going to be magazine
It'll be
format,
in that. Yep.
and it's going to be probably 48 pages, I would
Nice.
think, because that's
That's
about what
perfect.
Gone was.
Yeah. And no restrictions or almost no restrictions.
Yeah, basically, like
Yeah.
here's some of the work on there. There's no
That's going to
restrictions.
be amazing. All right. That's great. I'm glad we got to talk about that. We also have the X-Men 97 Prelude miniseries, the 10 best-selling comics of 2023, and the CGC Reholder Scam. Jamie,
Oh,
which one?
Stephen Yoon also being
Oh,
walking
yep.
out on Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
I'll finish this right now. Don't care.
Yeah, I didn't think it
That was
was a
a
good
horrible
choice.
pick for Century
Yep.
to me. Stay invincible.
Yeah.
Be behind the camera instead of in front of it. You're better that way.
Now, if you haven't seen him in Nope.
Yeah, I did, and it to me it just hurt.
Oh, he was so good in that.
I thought he just ruined the movie for me.
No, he was perfect. I
I
loved it.
wanted Negan to make an entrance again and smash him in the head with a watching that.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the episode here is over, go watch Nope and then sound off in the comments below and tell us who's right, me or Jamie, on whether Stephen Young was great in that movie. I say yes, Jamie says no.
I say that he was the dumpster fire of the year. Biggest surprise of 2023 was he still gets work.
Oh my God. Moving on. Let's talk about something that is incredibly surprising. How about the 10 best comics of the year?
Yeah, let's say this. No surprise, Batman filled the charts.
Let me go ahead. Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen here so that way you guys can see what we're seeing. All right, so take a peek at this, guys, right here. Batman, 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 Night Terrors, Batman, Batman. Oh, let's throw a Spider-Man in there. Batman. Oh, another Spider-Man. And how about some Void Rivals at the end?
Yeah. I mean, do you really think that Batman is the #1 best-selling superhero?
Yeah.
In all of the world.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Let me say this though. For all the people complaining about Zdarsky on Batman, he sure did sell the hell out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the top 10 that are written by Zdarsky. So for all the people that are hate screaming about him writing this when they loved his work on Daredevil, maybe they're just the loud minority. Now, the Spider-Man, we don't need to talk about that.
Oh well, yeah, we do.
No, but
Zeb Wells fan club president, you need to.
The fan club of one. Ladies and gentlemen, Void Rivals is not the unexpected addition to that list. If you haven't read it, it is absolutely amazing. You guys will love it. It's 6 issues, and there's some super awesome surprises in there. It's a great story that holds real weight on its own, and it starts the Energon universe too. So,
yeah, but no, the series that's on there for Batman, the overall arc is the Batman of Gotham.
Yeah,
which we did a review on.
Yep.
Here at the station, so go check that out. Dan did a great job on it.
Oh yeah.
But to me, I don't get why it's these select issues. I would have thought it would have been Zdarsky's first jump on, But I'm not making the polls here. As far as the 2 Spider-Mans, I mean, Zeb Wells knocks it out of the park every time, so we can't. I mean, of course.
So, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Jamie is incorrect for the first of many times this year. Zeb Wells does not knock it out of the park. In fact, he knocks it into the foul zone every single time, especially with the death of Miss Marvel. Oops.
Oh, yeah, I agree. That was atrocious.
My favorite thing about the whole Zeb Wells fiasco is where he said, yeah, we don't show derogatory or criticizing letters in the letter section. We only want to see the good ones so we can blow smoke up our skirts and feel super awesome. That's great, Zeb. You're doing a great job.
Yeah. I mean, with Spider-Man 17, I kind of get it.
I that was at a time when I was out, so I don't know why that
Yeah,
book
it
is
was the first
significant.
appearance of Kurep, which is the alternative Peter Parker, which is a big dumb Spider-Man. But I mean, it took place during Dark Web, which
Yeah.
was the big blockbuster summer deal with the Summer of the Symbiotes too.
That was when Ben Riley went bad, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
became Chasm.
Yeah, there you go.
But
And I know there's going to be a follow-up to that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
which
So,
you're always gonna have. But like, I think the only reasons Amazing Spider-Man 26 is on there was because of just the spoiler
oh,
aspect of it. Like everyone knew what was gonna happen.
oh yeah.
Everyone knew who was going.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. There's Marvel. For those who haven't read it, but it, I don't know.
But look
Words can't process in my brain to give this thing any credit.
Well,
But
look at it this way, though. Look at it this way. All these books here are during or right before the dawn of DC. So, do you think that's telling in that dawn of DC as a whole is working, or is it just
I think
because
no, it is Dawn of DC.
yeah, you got Dawn of DC here, you've got Dawn of DC here, Night Terrors is during Dawn of DC, all that stuff. I
Yeah, so
think this is
all
right
those were
before.
taking place within Dawn of DC. So I
Yeah.
think maybe it had something to do with it, but I don't think it had that much
Much. Okay, much of an impact.
much of an impact. I think it was based on the story that was marketed better than the rest of them.
Okay, fair enough.
It was the first appearance also of Red Mask in
Mhm.
Batman, so I mean it was a new
Yeah.
character that was told that was going to be around for a
Yeah.
very long time to come. So I mean, I can understand why people are running out to go get it.
Right on. And you've got the start of Gotham War here with 136.
Yeah, which Gotham War was probably better than, in my opinion, the Batman of Gotham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for me it trumped it. But
Fair enough.
as far as Night Terror goes, like to me that event was actually the one event that was good.
It was a great event.
A lot of people like crapped on it because of the fact that it was 47 issues altogether.
Yeah.
I got all 47 issues to read the entire event. And let me tell you, reading it all together was perfect.
Is there a specific reading order? Because I know it breaks down into
Yes.
characters.
Yes,
Okay.
there is. Because there's only 2 issues per character. There's a certain reading order you have to go through for it to read it.
So
And it's fantastic.
so they did 47 issues plus the preview issue. That's 48. And I'm sure they're going to throw in one more for just enough for a full-size omnibus, ladies and gentlemen.
They might.
So,
But yeah, it definitely showed like what every superhero's nightmare is
that's great.
and what the psychology was behind it. And it was just, to me, that was too good.
Right
So
on.
yeah, I mean, I'd like to see. Well, I'm just glad there wasn't too much Marvel up there for a change.
Right. And
But it could have been something else
rightfully
other
so.
than Batman.
Like the Marvel that I like is not the most popular right now, with the exception of one. And like you said, with Snyder's stuff, this book is flying like right below the radar. Moon Knight. Moon
Oh
Knight
yeah,
should have been on that list.
Moon Knight should have been 130% on there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
Like
the whole series is fantastic. And Sensational She-Hulk and She-Hulk before that. I think those are both great titles right now too.
yeah, I mean, you even look at when Donny Cates was on Thor. I thought that would have
Mm-hmm.
been up there because the
Yeah.
first. Well, no, that was a while ago. That was just ended. So yeah, I mean, that would have been somebody else. But it like those titles, like even were still relevantly good. I mean,
Yeah, it
it's
just
all, like I said, it's all not speculation, but like spoilers and
mhm.
first appearances, and it just doesn't make sense.
It just blows my mind that 6 out of the 10 for the whole year are all Batman related.
Yes.
2 are Spider-Man, and then
One
Yep.
is an Image comic.
Void Rivals, yeah.
Yes.
So,
Which I have. I mean,
I do too. I had to have Dan get me the first issue.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and run over X-Men 97's Prelude miniseries real quick before we dive into the meat and potatoes of some super big news. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Marvel Comics. This is off of Marvel.com. Marvel Comics brings readers the official prelude to the hotly anticipated X-Men 97 television series. This article is or the series, I'm sorry. The series is written by Steve Fox. He writes the 4-issue mini in anticipation of the upcoming Disney Plus show. Now, I'm going to give you a brief overview of this article real quick. It says, the X-Men are back and the 90s have never looked better. Well, I lived in the 90s, and I can tell you that that may or may not be true. Leading up to Marvel's X-Men 97 coming soon to Disney Plus, the X-Men 97 comic, a 4-issue series created in close collaboration with the showrunners, will serve as a companion story to the television show. The series is written by Steve Fox of Dead X-Men and Dark X-Men fame, with artwork by Salva Espin. In the official prelude, discover what Storm, Jubilee, Wolverine, and the rest of the team from the 90s cast have been up to in the time before their return. Startling revelations here lead directly into the hotly anticipated new series. Fans won't want to miss out on this. Jamie, what are your thoughts, man?
a lot of people aren't gonna like it, but to me, this is just another one of those cash grabs before the show comes out.
That's exactly what it is.
I don't think it's gonna. If you read it, there might be one or two things that transfer over to the show, but it's not gonna be something that holds too much weight.
Yeah.
To me, like unless they have a big spoiler in there where it's like, oh, and this is the villain on the very last page of the very last issue.
Like you would have to read this 4-issue mini to understand major
The whole
plot
show.
lines.
Like if you're gonna watch the show, you need to buy this, or else you're gonna be lost throughout the whole thing, which would be stupid. So they're gonna probably do that.
Now, the thing that I like the most that they've put out for promotion and material for X-Men 97 is the action figures.
Yeah,
the figures look gorgeous.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big X-Men fan whatsoever.
Sonny is.
Yeah, like I like the animated series. I liked X-Men Evolution.
Yeah,
you know that was about it for me. Like I couldn't get into the comics too much. Obviously, other people are into them that I live with, and I don't understand it. But hey, to each their own. But it's just
she's gonna come through that door and say, "Excuse me, sir."
Oh, I hear the footsteps. There's nothing silent about that. So, you know, I get it. Like Uncle Gary, his unbroken run goes from 1 to
now.
So it to me, it doesn't hold too much weight. I'll probably get them just because of the show. But no, other than that, it doesn't weigh too much on me. I'm not gonna run out and go check out everything because I didn't even follow House of
the
X
fall
or
of
Powers of 10.
Yeah, neither did I. I'm waiting for that event to be over so I can get back into X-Men in a fresh start. Yeah. So with this Prelude miniseries, Sonny, I'm not sorry, but I'm not going to pick this up either. If there are some cool variants or like some cool ratio variants, I might grab 1 or 2 of those. But beyond that, I think this is something that I'm going to pass up on. Jamie, you said it right. It's cash grab. It's exactly what it is. It's playing into the popularity of the show, the anticipation of the new show coming out.
They're trying to bring nostalgia back. That's it.
Yeah.
They're trying to make you be like reminisce and be like, oh, well, remember when the comics came out for? Oh, yeah. Remember when the show? Yeah, I want to have it in my hands. And it's like,
they are doing it with the foil covers right now. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, all right. Last bit of news, ladies and gentlemen, before we dive into our works and the rest of the show. This is the big one. We covered this last week. This is the CGC reholder scandal that's been going on. It is all over the comics community, all over YouTube, hitting some big news publications and things like that. So the gist of it is is a individual, according to CGC. Speculation on my part and some of the other members of the team. It has to be more than one, but that's speculation at this point. A individual had managed to swap out books to get them regraded and relabeled as Mark Jewelers, higher grades, making the book significantly more valuable, and then reselling those and still having these non-Mark Jewelers variants ready to be reholdered, reslabbed with new serial numbers, and be sold again, rinse and repeat. 9.9 Newsstand over on Instagram was one of the first to break the story, if not the first to break the story. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Absolute Comics, Awesome Comics, several other people all over Swaggle House on YouTube. All these guys started deep diving. Some eagle-eyed collectors and watchers of the comics community discovered some discrepancies with serial numbers, figured out that books were being reholdered with the same serial number and things like that. For a more in-depth analysis, check out episode 7 of Codex Slabbed. It's up on our YouTube channel right now. But let me show you this real quick. So there's a list that's been put out. Finally, CGC said that that's what they were going to do. They were going to put this list out. And this is on the CGC Comics forums right there. You can go right to their news section and you can find this as one of the top things. This was posted today. So they go into a brief overview of what happened and give you a list of books. They said it was a couple hundred. Well, they were exactly right. It comes around to, I think, 450 books that were affected. Some of these don't make sense, and Wes kind of pointed that out, but we're going to dive into this deeper on a follow-up episode on Codex Lab. But just to give you an idea real quick, Adventures of Superman number 625, Amazing Fantasy number 15, graded at a 6.5 signature series, Amazing Spider-Man number 1, 2, 3, 5, 13, 14, 15, all these big ticket issues, 129, 194, so on and so forth. And look at all these 194s. It is insane. All graded at 9.8s. That blows my mind. Then there's that Mark Jewelers insert right there. And it just goes and goes and goes.
238.
238. Jamie, it goes, there's 252 right there. Mark Jewelers insert there. Amazing Spider-Man 300. There is a long list of 300s graded at 9.8s and 9.6s. All this by one individual. I tend to disagree with that. Amazing Spider-Man number 678, Avengers number 157. Look at that. Catwoman number 51, signature series 9.8, so on and so forth, guys. Incredible Hulk 181. I believe 340 is on this list too. Yeah, right there. And so many more. Now, the one that doesn't make sense, but it kind of does. Secret Wars number 8. The one Soulfire. Look at that. Right there.
That's weird.
It is, but I have an opinion on that. So my
To
thought,
throw off everything.
well, not necessarily. Maybe those were books that he or she started with at first to
Yeah,
see if
they
this
get away with it.
scam would work. And after these first couple go through, they do, and then ta-da. But this is a really big fault on quality control on CGC's end.
Right.
The fact that they missed all of this stuff, that they let these things go through, and that this many books were affected. Do you have any thoughts on this, Jamie?
I just want to know if it was one person, because that, to me, if it's one person, they've been doing it for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's more than one, they need to restructure CGC in some way, fashion. They need like a two-person observation,
Yeah.
something in there that's more of a team united rather than one person going through the book being like, yeah, it was 9.8. Here, send it.
So
But
now they're going to have to do micromanaging.
yes.
Yeah.
And it's sad because a lot of people like us go through CGC.
Yeah.
And now it puts a bad taste in people's mouth that, what if it's not my book?
I have talked to several high-end collectors. I've got a couple friends here that are like that in town, and a lot of them are holding fast. They're not submitting books until this list is out, right? So
Yeah.
with that, they can check their serial numbers with this. And then if there are any more books, or what CGC's response to this now that the list is out, what they're going to do going forward. I know that there's an investigative team and all that stuff, but they're sticking pretty hard to the one person doing this kind of thing. But you've got a lot of people that are speculating once again that it could have been somebody inside CGC, or as Wes said in the Slabbed episode, that it could have been a comic book shop that was fronting these
Yeah.
books. Yeah. I mean,
No,
there's
I
a lot.
mean it could be several different
Oh, yeah.
things going on. We
It's
don't
a
know
lot of speculation at this point.
until they figure it out. Because if they look at all the serial numbers, well, who ran these? And
Yeah.
it's all one person.
Yeah.
Kind of know who it is then.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now if it's multiple people, then you got a problem. But
Yeah.
like I said, it puts a bad taste in people's mouths to go through
Mhm.
CGC. All I gotta think about is like, oh, look how fast that fast track's gonna be. They're not gonna be held up for 3 months anymore.
Not yeah, you're not going to get it back in 28 days, that's for
Mm.
sure.
You're gonna get it back in 24 hours because we have
Yeah.
nothing.
Wow. Yeah, so for more in-depth analysis on this, ladies and gentlemen, we got a follow-up episode coming out next week for Codex Slabbed. 9.9 Newsstand is going to join us on there, so stay tuned for that. All right, Jamie, that's the end of the rundown right there. Next segment we get to go into is our works.
Yes. And I'll let you kick this one off with our sponsor.
Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, the second sponsor for tonight's episode is Nirvana Comics in Knoxville, Tennessee. They have been gracious enough to sponsor us for the month of January, so you'll be hearing this name a lot in several shows going forward. If you're in the Knoxville area, head over to the address right there on your screen. Great shop. Grant and Jasmine, the owners of the store, are phenomenal and amazing people, and the rest of their workers, McKay and several others, are incredibly knowledgeable, and they are very warm and welcoming. And as they told me to tell you, there is a comic for everyone at Nirvana, ladies and gentlemen. So head over to Nirvana Comics in Knoxville, Tennessee. They are my exclusive shop. All the books I show on Codex After Dark, I get from Nirvana Comics. And if you can't make it, go ahead and head over to their website, nirvanacomicsknoxville.com, for even more that Nirvana Comics has to offer, including one of these beauties that you can get, a Duke #1 store exclusive. This is from Southern Comics Cartel, which Nirvana Comics is a part of, ladies and gentlemen. And this is their store exclusive, Duke #1. Absolutely fantastic. Cover art by Santa Fung, number 95 out of 250. This beautiful thing you can win. They gave it to us to promote here for you, so that way you can have an opportunity to win this beautiful store exclusive. Jamie, give us a little bit more information on what people need to do to enter to win this gorgeous book.
So yeah, it fantastic for them to even do this for us and for anybody who's going to win it. So you'll see more on the socials too. We're posting them out during the week, but all you have to do is be subscribed to our YouTube channel and also be following them on one of their socials. Either follow, like, subscribe, whatever it may be. You just have to send us a screenshot of both and just say I'm in, and we'll get the Wheel of Destiny back up again. We're trying to figure out the right way to say it. We're going Wheel of Destiny. So we'll get that up and we'll be picking the winner. I believe it is the 22nd.
That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is January 3rd as of this recording right now. You have got a little under 20 days left to enter in to win this beautiful store exclusive Duke #1 from Nirvana Comics, our sponsor for tonight's episode. All right. Let's go ahead and dive into some stuff that we've done, Jamie. How was 2023? How did that shape up for Codex, and what do we have to look forward to in the new year?
Well, it shaped up well. There's, like I talked about with the team more than anything, there was a couple things that had to be done. And one of the biggest things was being consistent on our scheduling. We were doing it at one point because I have a day job, obviously, or a night job,
Mhm.
whatever you want to say.
Day
But
job, yeah.
yeah, and my schedule rotates. So we were trying to base it off my schedule where the days I was off, we do the shows, days I was, and that schedule would rotate every other week. And it just got to the point where it wasn't fair to you guys or to us to keep doing that. So now with me and Tim going back and forth, you're going to have a host one week, which is me, and a
Yep.
host another week, which is Tim.
And it seems to work out pretty well. We both have our own unique styles of doing things, and the guys love it. So
Yeah. Tim likes to go 4 hours on comics of the week, and I like to keep it at like an hour 30. It makes total sense in the world. I don't know. I've
there
watched
you
the
go.
episodes. You guys just
It's,
talk about random things that have nothing to do with things.
it's wonderful.
Yes, but that was the biggest thing is staying consistent because I want our audience, you guys out there that are watching right now, to be able to sit there and know exactly when we're on or exactly when the episodes are going to be dropping. Another big thing that I loved was we hit 1,000 subscribers, which was probably my favorite part of the year.
Yeah.
I'm literally at work when it was going on, and I'm like, dude, we're sitting at 998.
I was at a concert.
I was about to leave work because my anxiety was so bad waiting for 2 more subscribers. I'm just kept checking my phone. Like
this was in September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just that was probably the pinnacle of that whole time frame. Trying to think. Mon Comics.
Yeah.
Having a collab with them. The 17 interviews we had this year with different creators that Dan got. Uncle Gary coming on.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. He brought a whole new side to the show that I think we needed.
Oh, yeah.
Now obviously we've got a couple other things in the pipeline moving forward, but guys, 2024 is going to shape up to be another, excellent year.
Allowed 1 F per show. Yeah. Isn't that the rule we came up with?
Yeah, but this is family friendly. We're going to do that in After Dark.
Fair enough. Okay.
So you used the F word. Fair.
There it is. There's your F word for the show, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I hope you're satisfied.
Never. Never satisfied. Always
this is the first show that you and I have got to do in a long time.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because of the fact that we both rotate.
Schedules, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been loving it. It's great so far. Sonny, sorry, but you're fired.
It's not me. This is the year of Tim not getting fired in 2024, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't worry. The year's still long.
Oh, we're only 3 days in. Give it time.
362 more firings. That's all you need.
Oh, my God. So yeah, we've got some more on the spots on the way. Wes and I are working on some here in the eastern part of Tennessee. I know the guys on the crew are looking at other places to go at. On the spots are really popular. We've got more slab shows coming in the near future. Like you said, tons of interviews, all kinds of stuff. God, it's a lot, but it's a lot of fun. And I don't like, my kids asked me the other day, because we were talking about when I had to take a break, right? And when other people have had to take breaks too. And I think my son looked at me. He's like, Dad, you getting burned out? I said, hell no. I said, I am loving every minute of this. I said, this is amazing and fantastic. Yeah, hitting 1,000 subscribers in September. I was in the middle of a festival, a rock concert festival. And we were all texting back and forth. I'm supposed to be watching these bands on stage. And I'm like, we're 2 away. We're almost there. What are we going to do? And team came through, pulled the subscribers. It was amazing. And it's been going ever since. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, it's been great. And like you said, we got a lot, coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. One of the biggest things is I'm happy to say is everything's booked and ready to go. I'll be in Baltimore for Baltimore Comic-Con this year.
Yes, the meeting of the Codexers in Baltimore. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a full vlog, which I think it'd be cool if everyone did one from their perspective.
Right on. Okay.
And then have everyone solo vlog for that day.
Just scatter and go.
Or that weekend, I should say.
There you
And then we're
go.
gonna have even more fun because we're gonna be doing a collab with Uncle Gary's
Yeah.
store, Comic Logic.
Yeah.
At the end, doing a full podcast of what we enjoyed, with Codex and Comic Logic coming together and talking about the weekend we had, and our show, what they do,
Have
everything.
as many of us as possible in one room talking at the same time.
Yeah, like it's not a problem right now as it is.
It's going to be great. Ladies and gentlemen, 2024 is the year of Codex. We've got a lot in store for you, and we're only 3 days in.
Yeah, it sounds like a new hashtag, Year of Codex.
Hey, right on. Right there. There you go. Year of Codex. Hashtag, ladies and gentlemen. Trend it on Twitter, or X, as I should say. There you go. Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we've given you the rundown. We've given you a preview into our works and the best of 2023 for Codex. Now it is time for the review. Jamie, what is the issue that we are going over today?
Yeah. So to start off, welcome to the first episode of Codex Reviews this year. And the issue that we're going to be going over is Nightwing 104 or 105, the very first person for Nightwing view. You are Nightwing in this issue.
That's right. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I have got the credits for this issue. We have the writer as Tom Taylor. Artwork that includes inks go to Bruno Redondo. Colors, Adriano Lucas. And letters by Wes Abbott. So, the title of the issue speaks for itself. You are Nightwing. This entire issue is done from the visual perspective of Dick Grayson. And what a way to wake up in the late afternoon than laying next to Barbara Gordon and her telling you that your breath stinks and you need to go brush your teeth. You get mauled by your dog, licked all over face to face and all that stuff. You get up, do you get up, do your thing, and your sister calls. Is that right? His sister?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the mayor of Bloodhaven. Some major disastrous virus has been stolen by this duo called Double Dare, if I remember right, and they have hijacked this M train going through the city of Bloodhaven. Batgirl and Nightwing get dressed, jump out the window. This is all first person perspective. This is point of view, ladies and gentlemen, and you are watching all of this take place. You are a part of it. You are Nightwing, jumping onto the trains, moving from train to train, catching Batgirl as she slips and falls because she's not used to doing this kind of thing. But the two of them working together, getting into the M train, figuring out that there's only one of Double Dare, and some plot lines are discovered. What is it? Virus. A mosquito-borne virus is taking place in third world countries, and this particular company, headquartered in Bloodhaven, is selling the vaccine for a ridiculous amount. One of the two of Double Dare has injected herself with the vaccine, and she is holding it hostage.
Yeah, because of the fact that they were said that her blood could be used as the vaccine when she
Exactly.
goes back.
Yeah, and Double Dare is kind of a crime duo, but this time around they're on the side of good. Dick Grayson and Barbara figured that out pretty darn quick. But once again, first person perspective, the plot moves along, and then as you're working your way toward that headquarters building, you run into the guards, and they're shooting at you, and you're climbing buildings and doing all this other stuff. It's crazy, it's wild, it's amazing, and you have to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. The story is self-contained. It all happens in one issue. It's part of a greater arc, but the story can be read from first page to last, and you don't really have to read or know anything else. The basic information you know about Dick Grayson is more than enough. Let me just tell you, Nightwing is not on my pull list, but I remember when this issue came out, I did not get a chance to read it until today when I was prepping for the show. This was fantastic. This was amazing. I love the first person perspective. Bruno Redondo's artwork was phenomenal, and he captured what it would be like to be Nightwing for a day, for an afternoon. The visuals were fantastic. There was major consistency. I love the little bits of him looking in the mirror, or pieces of Nightwing standing there as glasses flying next to your
Yeah.
face, and all that stuff. It was fantastic. Tom Taylor's script work for this, geez, that's wild. And it was done very well. So what Tom Taylor wanted to be shown in panel, Bruno Redondo was able to do in such a fantastic form that it meshed incredibly well together. Now, the coloring by Adriano Lucas definitely has to be mentioned
Yes.
because you have those old style 80s dots in
Hmm.
there. And I thought that was really cool. I love seeing stuff like that. But his color work was really, really awesome. It wasn't incredibly vibrant, but that's not a bad thing because it was very easy on the eyes. The color palette that he used was fantastic. It was great. It was gorgeous. The lettering by Wes Abbott, as always, we at Codex love our letterers, and they
Yes, we
do a
do.
very good job. The whole team was great. Writing, script alone, like if there was no artwork to this, script alone, 10 out of 10.
Hmm.
And with Bruno Redondo's artwork put to this, another 10 out of 10 for an overall 10 out of 10. This issue was fantastic. I loved it. Thank you so much for recommending it, Jamie.
Oh, no problem. Before I get into mine, Sonny's not here, but he left us with his review. So I'm going to read it off real fast. And it's short but sweet. So
Okay.
Nightwing 105 is a different comic that lets you know, or that lets you have a day as Nightwing. It is fun, original, and a quick read. I like my serious comics, but sometimes I love to enjoy a fun one, and this comic is definitely that. I highly recommend this issue. Sonny is going to give Nightwing 105 a 10 out of 10.
There it is.
Yeah. So, Sonny, glad you liked it, bud. But yeah, for me, it like some of the like one-liners even in there. There was when Double Dare was there, and they're like, "God, Nightwing, usually you're handsy and grabby," and then Barbara just looks at him and goes, "Handsy and grabby, huh?" And he's like, "Not like that. We're not doing that right now." And then it shows up later in the issue where she's like has the suit because they
Yeah.
switch spots as Double Dare. And she's like, "Should I keep the suit? Maybe we could use it for handsy and grabby later." And he's like, "Seriously?" She goes, "Yeah, no, not happening." He's like, "You'd look great in it though."
I like the Mr. Wing conversation.
Yeah, and it was just cool. Like you said, my favorite parts were like when he hit one of the bodyguards and the glasses fly off, and you just
Yeah.
see a quick impersonation. Him talking to Lyle Sheldon, who is the villain Heartless in the series, and he literally is talking to Nightwing, and he's like, "Mr. Wing," and Dick Grayson's like, "It's
Yeah.
one word," and he goes, "No, Mr. Wing." He goes, "Still one word," and he's like, what do you mean?" And he's like, "Still one word." He goes, "Nightwing, one word," and he's like, "Well, either way," and like you just see him in like the glass behind or some reflecting
Yeah.
somewhere. This book made you look
Oh
everywhere to
yeah.
see if you saw
It's
yourself
like if I called you
as Nightwing.
Mr. Hole.
Yeah, like if I called you Mr. Hole and then just walk off, mic drop. Yeah, but it was a great. I thought it was a fantastic ride. I thought this issue, as being self-contained, was fun,
Oh yeah.
energetic. The visuals were fantastic. It was a great representation of you actually being this character. So yeah, writing, I gotta agree with you guys, 10 out of 10, and I'm gonna go overall rating 10 out of 10 on this one. I thought this was fantastic. It's a great one-off that you can jump into and just enjoy. I mean, the only thing that you really need to know going into maybe if you wanted to, is that Lyle Sheldon is
Mhm.
Heartless, the villain, but it even tells
Yeah, it
you
gives you the
in the
look. Yeah.
editor's note, yeah, in there, that if you want to see more of his origin, you're gonna check out Nightwing Annual from this past year. So yeah, this was a fun ride, and I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you guys got to
Yeah.
enjoy it too and liked it so much. The whole series since one to now has been fantastic.
That's wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, it is unanimous. Sonny, who's not here, me, who's here, and Jamie, who's over there. 10 out of 10. First issue reviewed of the year for the Codex Station Nightwing number 105. All right. So who gets to pick for next week?
Um, You go.
Me on the spot, what would I choose? I don't know. We'll leave that a surprise. I have no idea right now.
Yeah, we'll make it a surprise of the year.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings this episode of the Codex Podcast to an end. I am going to go ahead and get the business out of the way, and then our esteemed leader, the joyous and jubilant and Dubby J Dubs, is going to tag us out today, as he should. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget our two sponsors for tonight's episode, Dubby Energy. Head over to w.gg, save 10% on your order using keyword code -X at checkout, if I can get the buttons to work properly. Once again, w.gg, use keyword code -X. And don't forget the other sponsor for this week's episode, that is Nirvana Comics. Ladies and gentlemen, head over to nirvanacomicsknoxville.com to check out all the awesome stuff that they have to offer. And don't forget, they have a comic for everyone. And if you're in the Knoxville, Tennessee area, head right on over to that address right there and go visit Grant, Jasmine, and the rest of the Nirvana Comics team. You will not be disappointed. As far as Codex goes, ladies and gentlemen, we are on all the socials. All you got to do is type in at the Codex Station. That is where you will find us. Make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow so that way you don't miss out on awesome content like this all the time, every time. And last but not least, head over to thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Thecodexstation.com, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie, the floor is yours. Take us out in J-Dub fashion, if you please.
Well, first off, thank you everyone for the amazing 2023 that we had, and let's make it the year of Codex. Make it 2024. A lot of big things happening. A lot of great things are going to be going on, and we can't wait for us to be able to show you what they are. So, as always, we will see you guys in the next one.